Okay, picture this. It's the dying seconds of a championship game. The crowd is going absolutely insane. The home team is down by 1, and their coach makes a call. But it's a bizarre call. Something so counterintuitive that the entire stadium just goes silent. A move that no human coach in their right mind would ever make. And you know what? It works. Flawlessly.
Well, here's the thing. That baffling, game-winning play, it didn't come from a person. It came from an algorithm. And that, right there, kicks open a door to a fascinating, and honestly, a kind of terrifying question. What happens when a machine's cold logic is just better than human wisdom, especially in something we care so much about?
So, to really get what's going on here, we have to look under the hood at the tech itself. We're talking about this groundbreaking system from the TUIT laboratory. And believe me, it is way more than a fancy spreadsheet. This is the very thing that's causing this massive, intense debate in the scientific community.
At the heart of it all are biosignals. Yeah. See, this thing isn't just watching the game. It's plugged into the players. It's reading their heart rate, their muscle fatigue, their sweat response. It's literally reading their physical and emotional states in real time. That's a level of insight no human coach could ever hope to have.
And this process is just relentless. It's a non-stop feedback loop. It's watching the game, it's reading the players' bodies, and it's running all of that against this gigantic database of basically every game ever played. Only after all that does it calculate the perfect game-winning strategy. It's methodical. Now this is where we get to the core of the argument for the AI. And it all boils down to one single, kind of scary number. For the people who believe in pure, unfiltered results, this is pretty much the end of the discussion.
40%. Let that sink in. The data coming out of the TUIT lab says their system makes better tactical calls than human coaches by 40%. I mean, that's not a small tweak. That's a complete game changer, a whole new paradigm.
So if you're in that camp, the logic is, well, it's simple. You see victory as just a math problem that needs to be solved. And this system, it doesn't have hunches. It doesn't have bad days. It just calculates. And you just can't argue with the results.
So the whole case for the AI coach is really a case for perfection, right? It's about taking all the messy human stuff out of the equation. No more errors, no more biases, no more gut feelings that just turn out to be wrong. It's just optimizing every single thing for the win, every time.
But of course, that's just one side of the coin. For every scientist praising this new efficiency, there's another one who's basically mourning what we're losing. For them, this isn't progress. It feels more like we're losing the very soul of the game.
And this right here, this slide just lays out the central conflict perfectly. On one side, you have that cold, hard data, that 40% advantage. But on the other, you have everything that you can't put a number on. The mentorship, the inspiration, that wild gut feeling play that defies all logic but somehow wins the championship. The art of it.
And this perspective is really powerful. It argues that we're creating athletes who are just brilliant at executing commands from a computer, but they're not masters of their sport. They're becoming cogs in a machine. A coach is supposed to be a mentor, a leader. What happens to that when their biggest job is replaced by a software update?
You know, this brings up an even bigger, more unsettling question. If an algorithm is calling all the shots, are the players even really playing the game anymore? Or are they just assets being deployed by a machine? We're talking about losing human agency in something we created and love.
Which brings us to the final and, honestly, the most important point here. This technology, it exists. That's a fact. But whether we use it and how we use it, well, that's not a tech question. It's a moral one. It's about what we, as people, actually value.
So yeah, we can chase that 40% advantage. We can optimize everything for a perfect, predictable win. But we have to stop and ask ourselves what we lose along the way. Because when an algorithm can decide the outcome of our games, our careers, and who knows what else, who or what is really in control anymore?